Blast me to Siphos! It's time for the Mad Merlin's Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey, Episode 27, Part 1, Lore and Building. Hello and welcome back to the Mad Merlin's Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Journey. So we're starting our 8th delivery now, and this is our first issue, issue 27. So in this one we get our first brand new piece of terrain. So I'll move away the magazine and let's have a good look at all that detail, because this kit is oozing with it. So this is the first of 2 Heliotrope Reactors that we will be getting. As we can see, we've got some really nice detail, all the different types of piping running to the center of the reactor there. Got the furnace door at the back, front with all the gauges, the very ominous looking Mechanicus cog. We got an inward-outward flow pipe here, which can be stuck on 3 different places. You can go on either end, here or here, or it could even be glued onto this vent here. We have 2 end caps for each of the 2 ends, 3 smaller pipes which go into the back here. Then we've got our main exhaust here. So each broken up into 3 smaller exhausts with different pressure gauges, cog mechanicus, and various vents. And finally we got the main reactor central piece there, and the eye for the skull. So each of these end caps has a cog mechanicus on, one embossed, one protruding outwards, but nice detail. And like I said, these can go on either end, and this back plate will attach to the exhaust and can go on either of these coverings here. The magazine will tell you to glue it on the back one here. I have built one in the past on one of the ends, so I might swap and do the opposite end. But either way, I do suggest leaving this, especially if you build it as the magazine suggests. Leave this part attached to this part as a separate sub-assembly. It'll make painting all your details in behind it a lot easier. So that's our kit. We'll come back to that when we start building. But first, let's dive into issue 27. So we get a single model of this issue, the Haemeotrope Reactor terrain, including its battle record. We learn about the ages of mankind, and the Battle of Siphos continues. So, contents breakdown. Battle record for the Haemeotrope Reactor. Battle line units for Space Marines. The ages of mankind. Building and painting our Haemeotrope Reactor. We'll be looking at that in another video, but we'll be focusing on building in this one. We have a second page for our rules reference, and have Scout Mission 3, page 5, Power Struggle. So here we are, the Haemeotrope Reactor, the heart of the Imperial war machine. Haemeotrope reactors are powerful generators found in almost every Imperial industrial centre, and they crackle with energy as they fuel the endless war effort. In battle, cunning soldiers may dare to use a Haemeotrope reactor's energy field to shield themselves from harm. So we've got the breakdown of the actual lost my words. Reactor, there we go, right in front of me. So we've got the Centrifugal Core. So basically, this is the main core. Continually spins around and around, creating a generator. The intake valve. So that would be, oh no, it's not. So it shows that there, but that's not actually included in this kit. That's very odd. I was thinking it'd be on the opposite side of the end caps, but it's not. So that's a different design to what we've actually got. And as we know, we've got the Cog Mechanicus there. So if we flip over, I filled out our battle record. So its binaric designation is 11000111010000110. And it fuels an ancient security system deep underground. So we got a tick chart for any wounds that are saved thanks to the shield generator. And we got any notable records of holding it as an objective. Moving on, we've got a bit of core information for the Space Marines and their battle line units. So, the heart of any Space Marine force is its battle line squads, and the strength of these units is their flexibility. In battle, they can be called upon to perform any task that is required of them, whether holding a crucial objective, providing fire support, or charging to meet the enemy head-on in close combat. We got the cover art from No Fear, which is one of the old 7th edition starter sets. And we basically have 8th edition starter set. And we had just some Primaris intercessors facing off against the Plague Marines. So this will tell us a little bit more about the breakdown of the Space Marine battle line units. And on the reverse, we've got some suggested types of different battle line squads. So you've got intercessor squads, which are the core of the Primaris forces. Heavy intercessors, which are intercessors donned in the Gravis armor, making them a little bit more tough to take down. Infiltrator squads are lighter armed Phobos squads. We'll be getting a squad of these guys later on. And at the bottom, we just have a little bit about the Astra Militarum and who they are, and a quote from Private Ridley Ripcord Valen. Our second piece of lore is the Ages of Mankind. So, the darkness before the Imperium. The Imperium was not created overnight. It was born from a long, dark millennia of mankind's history. What began as a hopeful voyage into the stars ended in misery, with humanity's greatest inventions lost or corrupted. So this is the first of many pages, which will be our chronological timeline of the Ages of Mankind. So we got the Age of Terror, how humanity first became a spacefaring civilization. The Age of Technology, where humanity dabbled around, and when Mars was originally founded as a Mechanicum homeworld. The Age of Strife, which was the age where the Emperor was originally born. It is through this and the suffering of mankind that they got together, and basically the Emperor appeared. With his mighty Thunder Warriors, he managed to basically take back Terra and unify it into one great civilization. And the Age of Darkness is when the Emperor starts his Great Crusade. Alright, that's all our lore. Let's move on to building. So I'll just get my tools and I'll be right back. Okay, building the Haemeotrope Reactor is actually a fairly easy process. We'll go quickly through the instructions and then I'll clip out and we'll assemble our components. So the first step is to get parts 1 and 10, 13 and 12, and 6, and we're basically making a sandwich of those. Our next step is to take 5 and 7, our end caps, and glue them onto the opposite ends of the reactor. We take our small pipes and glue them in place. And then we build a sub-assembly of the exhausts, which will then glue onto the back, and our pipe, which glues onto one end. So what we'll do is, like I said, we'll start cutting out components and getting them glued together. So what I'll do, I'll cut out everything off camera except for the bits that are importantly numbered. So we'll cut out our first step. So we want our front and back, our 2 caps there, and our eye lens. So I'll be right back after I've cut those out. Okay, I've clipped out and cleaned up our first 5 components. Now to sandwich them together, all we've got to do is apply some glue. So we'll apply it to part 10 here, the back. And what we want to do is simply start running glue along all the flat edges. And a little bit inside these nubs where these grooves where the little nubs on the other side will sit into. I don't know if that was on camera or not, but this is how I'm doing it, just running along the edges like so, and filling in the grooves as well. Then we take first half. It might be a good idea to do it on a flat surface like this and push them together so we get a solid connection. Right. For these pieces, you want our front reactor furnace cover. So for this, we're just going to be gluing all the way along here. Not so much along the bottom because that's going to be on the flat, but definitely around the C there. And that glues in place like so. Do the same on the back. And push that one in place. And finally we got the eye for our cog mechanicus. So I want a little bit of glue on that tab and along the flat areas there, like so. Then the tab goes in there and our eye fits over like so. What we'll do is we'll leave that off to dry on one side. We'll cut out our next lot of components. So our next step would be to do the end caps, but we'll leave those for the moment. We'll get on with the smaller sub-assemblies. So we've got parts 8 and 9. And then we've got parts 4, 3 and 2. Right, I'll get those cleaned up and we'll be able to start assembling. Okie dokie, we've got all our components cleaned up, cut out, and then we're ready to start gluing. So for these little pipes, we just want to apply glue to one side, or one half should I say, both sides of one half like so. And then we got some protruding lips there and grooves, and that's what helps them line up correctly. So wipe away any excess glue we have. And there we are. That's our small pipe. This bit, we want to make sure we get a good coverage glue so that we can get a nice solid seal. So we'll hold it by the one piece here. We'll start running our glue all the way along the outside edges, like so. Like so. And then we can press the two halves together, making sure we squeeze firmly so that two pieces of plastic will melt together. And while we leave them to dry, we might as well glue on our end cap. So we've got the little nub there, which goes to the hole there. Like so. So we'll leave those to dry, and then we'll bring in our final assembly. Okay, I've got the end caps cut off, but before we attach them, we'll put our smaller pipe sections here. While they look similar, each one is slightly different, so make sure you follow your build guide. So 11B goes at the top, C here, and then A over here. So we'll cut them out, clean them up in order. Just got some mold lines to remove. And then we just need to put a bit of glue on there and a little glue there. And so this is A, so A goes in to there. Next we'll do B. And B's our top one up here. So put, again, a little bit of glue there, a little bit there, and just slot it in place. If you have trouble reaching there, I suggest a little pair of tweezers will be a good idea to help you. But it's a fairly open area, so it shouldn't be too hard. So we'll just clean up 11C. There we are. And that goes on the bottom like so. Now we can glue our ends. It doesn't matter which one goes on which, as they will both fit either end. So if we go by the instructions, it shows part 7 to go on this end. Just make sure the cog is the right around. Mine looks like it's been printed a little bit off center. The skull's a little too far over one side. There we go. And then 5 goes on this side. And we'll make sure the cog is as upright as possible. And there we have our reactor done. So before I go any further, I would like to show you a few examples of how these can be glued together. Now, all of these connector points are pretty much the same size. So for instance, the pipe, all these exhausts can fit to either. So the build guide wants us to put the main exhaust there. It could even go there, which I think is how I built one of my earlier ones. Or it could go on either end, like so. Same goes for the pipe. So it can go that way, or it could even go that way, or that way, and have it connected to other types of pipe. And likewise here, you can have it go like that. Can't go like that sadly, but you can go out to the side, and the same there. Then go either like that or like that. And the good thing is we're getting a second one, so you can build each one differently. And we are getting some pipes, so when we get the pipes, if you want to, when you get your second one, you can glue the pipe, this pipe on like so, and then have the other pipes coming out and connecting into it. Likewise, you could have a long pipe coming out of there, and then the end. It's a really good versatile kit and combines nicely with some of the other kits in the range. So I will finish gluing this one up like the instructions say, so on that end, but I'll be leaving this off to make painting a lot easier. So final assembly then, just want to run some glue along the edge. And making sure we're lined up. Perfect. So yeah, this bit will eventually glue on there, but for the moment just put a bit of blue tack along the outside, and then you can reach all the smaller details in behind that you'd otherwise miss. But that is it for this video. So we've managed to build our Haemeotrope Reactor, which will be a nice piece of terrain for us to play our games over. So I'll be back with the paint and play guide in the next video, but all that's left for me to say now is to thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to help the channel out, there's my affiliate link for Curton Games, my Buy Me a Coffee channel, and also my social medias with more details. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for more mad content. Goodbye.